Hi, this is Poker with Student Ministry Essentials, and the topic that we're going to talk about today is lead team ministry. Lead teams is a strategy for implementing ministry and making a lasting career of impacting thousands of youth and families through your student ministry. Now, what you do is important, so how you do it is also important, and how you attend to your call along the way. The problem is that except for implementing a different style of ministry or allowing it to be expressed in a contemporary form, we still pretty much are doing ministry the same way as we always have. Our strategy for initiating and implementing ministry is essentially the same. And it doesn't matter if you are an orange rethinker or a simple youth ministry model, a family-based fanatic, or a combination of any of the current expressions of youth ministry. The bottom line is that you're called to implement ministry and in some way to some target audience using a particular strategy. From our SME survey, we found that full-time student pastors spend about 75% of their time managing events, about 10% of their time nurturing and managing relationships, and about another 10% putting out fires, and 5% coordinating ministry with other staff. Now, the average youth leader spends 3.8 nights per week away from their home with their family with ministry-related responsibilities. Do you realize that 34% of youth ministers leave the ministry before age 30? Between 80 and 94% of youth leaders will quit before the age of 40. Look what happens between ages 30 and 40. 60% increase in attrition in only 10 years. At the very time that youth ministers should be getting their wings and becoming more mature and stable in their ministry career, that they end up leaving the ministry. You realize the average tenure of a youth minister in the United States is less than 7 years? A pro quarterback's tenure is 6.8 years, so our track record is not that good. Let's look at the top 4 reasons that the lifespan of a youth minister is so poor. First of all, there's burnout. The second reason was just expectations of the youth minister didn't line up with the expectations of the church. The third one is a lack of ministry training, whether it's volunteer staff or paid staff, just a lack of professional training. And then compensation. Often guys simply leave because of their compensation package is not adequate to contend with their family needs. We simply can't do the work of ministry the same at every stage of life. You have to adjust. We simply can't keep the same pace running 100 miles an hour from event to event, from week to week, from ministry task to ministry task. Often we feel like a plate spinner in a circus where we're running from the next plate to keep it spinning and then looking to see what else needs our attention and run from one to another. Student ministers are called to be ministry equippers and not event coordinators. The typical youth ministry is implemented by either a traditional committee or a youth council or a lead team or a hybrid or maybe nothing at all. They just go from event to event or from need to need. What I want to share with you is one of the best and lost secret weapons, not only to enjoying your ministry, but staying in it for the long haul, long enough to enjoy it for many years or for however long God has called you to that. One of my friends, Richard Ross, presented this original content for youth ministers, and that's what I'm going to share with you. And after many years of kind of morphing and adapting it to what the needs were, it became my flagship for implementing ministry, and I want to share it with you really quick. First, let me say that lead teams truly represent a paradigm shift. And in my opinion, it's a secret weapon of long-term success in youth ministry. So what is a lead team? A lead team is a small group of teenagers, parents, and youth leaders who work together to plan, promote, and execute a major ministry event, a trip, or an ongoing ministry program. And here's what a lead team is not. It's not a traditional committee. It's not an alternative to having one person in charge. It's not a committee that helps the youth leader do his or her job. It's equipping the laity to do the ministry God's called them to do, so you become the equipper. And it is not an instant success story. It takes nurturing on the front end. There's 4 principles that guide the lead team concept. Let me share those with you. The first principle that guides the lead team concept is that it is an ad hoc committee. In other words, it's a committee that only exists for a limited time. It has a beginning and an end point. It's not ongoing, it's not permanent. It exists only to accomplish that particular ministry task. The second thing that guides the lead team principle is that it accepts responsibility for the ministry activity. In other words, they don't help the youth minister do his job, but the youth minister helps the lead team accomplish their ministry job. This is what represents the paradigm shift. Most people, even if they use a team, it's the team helping the youth minister do his job rather than the youth minister training them to accomplish their ministry calling. The third thing is that lead teams exist only to implement. In other words, lead teams implement already calendared events. A lead team doesn't come up with the event, they actually carry out the ministry that the youth minister has casted in vision. Number 4, the lead team is just that. It is a lead team. They don't do all the work themselves. The team is responsible for accomplishing it, and they may add an entire cast of people to accomplish a ministry job according to their skills, their giftedness. So what does this look like? It begins with a lead team coordinator. The lead team coordinator is the key. The person is basically the lay minister that you're going to equip, encourage, and turn loose to do whatever ministry task it is at hand that's in your vision. What you're doing in practical terms is you're transferring your resources, knowledge, and authority to this person to carry out the ministry. So I submit to you that any ministry that's not equipping the saints for the work of the kingdom is not really that healthy. It's not a mature ministry. Perhaps it's not even completely ministry at all. If I can serve you in youth ministry, please don't hesitate to contact me. Or if you have a problem or question concerning existing leadership teams or implementing a leadership team at your church, let me know. I'll be glad to help you. Thanks for watching Essential Shorts video. Why don't you drop me a note and let me share your success story with others. And remember, what you do is of great importance in kingdom work.